from Ura.
Mm-hmm.
The mom asked, like, man, where you at? Are you close? You know how she is. Yeah. I said, I'm in 144. But I didn't realize that by the time I got home. I fell asleep, like always. You eat, sleep, whatever. Woke up the next morning. I was reviewing my text and I noticed that I said I'm on 144. The time says 144.
I actually also mentioned telling you was 7 and it was 44%.
Oh yeah, that was another one too.
Yeah, machu wa panya hakura.
Yahawa, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kakadash.
Alright, Shalom Akim. With the Hebrews. Wait. I want to give double honors, Pastor Elders Great Millstone. Shalom. The sincere brothers out there teaching truth and sincerity. Alright. With the Hebrew Israelites back at you once again. Alright, to prophesy the downfall of Esau's kingdom. And to bring remembrance of the children of Israel, which consists of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. To bring us back to our power, which is Yahweh. Alright, through our Lord, Yahawashi. So it's Yahweh Bahashim, Yahawashi. Yahweh means he is in the Paleo Hebrew tongue. Alright, Bahashim means in the name. Yahawashi means he saves or he delivers in the Paleo Hebrew tongue, which is the original tongue that the only tongue that had the power of those names in. Alright? The only names that you can pray upon, and the only names that have power in it. It's Yahweh or Yahawashi. Alright, so the one that this Kent session is edifying unto you brothers out there, and exhorting unto your brothers. We're gonna, low one at this, yeah. So we're just gonna roll in the spirit. Ultimately, we're gonna Adonai again. Talk about how Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to. He's got us. Like he's got us in these coming days. Once again, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua gave us an example yesterday. My father, he came back home, and he had a bag of food from a random Christian lady that just straight up gave him it, and it was just turkey sandwiches and some water, some fruit, a fruit cup and stuff like that in there. It's just the fact that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Yeah, let me let this dude go past. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, he got us. Random occurrences like that is how Yahweh deals with his servants. Bashim Yahushua. Alright? It's just like when Yahushua, I'm gonna mention it again, because I done it a few camps ago. Yahushua, when he sent his apostles out, he sent them out with nothing. Alright? Nothing but their clothes on their back. And they didn't have no money, no nothing. They just went out, And Yahweh supplied them. His Father, our Lord's Father, He supplied those men. All right, with everything they needed, from food to water to a place to sleep. Sometimes the brothers have to sleep, outside, but still, there's still a place to sleep, still a place to lay your head. But the brothers never starved to death. They never dehydrated. And all of that, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, he got us. So let me get this, somebody want to get that, because we brothers, we always get that part with Elijah, when Elijah was, and he was in the book of Kings, but I'm not sure exactly where it is, when, just put barrel of bread, when, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I still remember that story.
Yeah, he's still.
I remember one of the apostles telling that story. I still remember that. First Kings 17 and 2. 12. I think
Let me see. Yeah. Hold that on the top. I'm just gonna look for this precept really quick. It's an apocrypha. This is a wise man without evil. Okay, remove the why. Remove the man and the tree. Yeah, Slakiaki, I'm trying to. No, it's not in second. It's just in Ecclesiastes. I'm trying to find it. I know it's somewhere around the 20, around between 20 and 30 chapter. So one of these. Feels nice. This way. I know it's like 20. Slakiaki, I'm trying to find the scripture because I really wanted to get it. I should have highlighted it. Damn. I don't think I don't got it highlighted. No, I don't. You can go now? You can go.
She's a seed.
Damn.
This is like 87 years old.
I know it's around here. I forgot exactly how it went. But it's talking about how does it go? Damn, I'm trying to remember it. I want to find it. It's that. Can you put strength? Bear with me, if any topic, there's no words. No, for remove evil.
You gotta be specific.
I just said strength. Right here. Yo, that's the spirit. What the? Yo, that must have been the spirit. Really wanted to find it. Just for me to just like be holding it the entire time. Alright, cool. Somebody, Bible can show you. Get Ecclesiastes chapter 2. And just hold that.
Wait, in Apocrypha?
Yeah. Not entirely sure. Go all the way now? Actually, yeah, you should hold that. You get Matthew chapter 6. I think it's Matthew chapter 6.
I'm good.
Hey, wait a minute. Just read just read 25 all the way down. Yeah, and just actually you can start out with that. You know, we'll just run through from there.
Start with Matthew 6 and 25. All right.
Yeah, and then just like read down. Yes, this is, so basically before we start, you know, that our mind should be upon Yahawashi and nothing else. Don't put your mind about anything that is carnal. Don't worry about basically, are you going to perish like the wicked out here? Alright? Remember why you're doing this work. You know, remember why the brothers make their videos. Alright? They're making those videos to stir up your pure minds in the way of remembrance. Alright? So that you may remember that Yahawashi got your back. Alright? Especially when times of trouble happen. As long as you keep your work up and you keep your faith up, you know, Yahawashi got you. Alright? Keep striving for this truth. Keep contending for this faith. Keep fighting for it. Keep struggling for it. Because your flesh is going to try to advert you from walking the ways of righteousness. But remember how the scriptures say, it says that the spirit and the flesh, they were made contrary one to the other, so that you may not do what you will. You know? And that goes both ways, so that the flesh doesn't do everything it wants to do, and so that the spirit doesn't do everything it wants to do. But since we're trying to live our ways through the spirit, you know, our flesh is constantly trying to get on us. You know, but we have to fight against the flesh. And that's what makes you even more righteous. Because you're having experiences of wickedness. And just as, I think it was one of the apostles' teachers, you know, I think it was Apostle Tahar, we gotta learn wickedness so that we can appreciate righteousness. And that's the whole purpose of why we're in this flesh. See, we're not like other men out here where they walk after the lust of their flesh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Walking after the lust of their flesh, continuously doing the simple things that they do every day. From drinking to smoking weed, you know, to lusting after women constantly. All right. So, for sure, you can start out with that.
Flesh. And the thing about the flesh punishes you. If you don't do exactly what the flesh tells you, it punishes you.
Yeah,
you know,
tries to make you basically go through a withdrawal effect.
Right, and not just drugs, even food. Like you see Jay constantly eating all the time,
and they feel hungry if they haven't eaten for a set amount of hours. Like damn, you know, some people can't go an hour without eating.
That's why there's like such thing as like what, breakfast, lunch, dinner, but they don't tell you about the in between. The in between there's what do they call that? Brunch or cravings, snacks. You know, Jen constantly eating all the time, eating every time. You know, and then the convenience, this convenience stores. Yo, I mean,
notice how
some chips on the store.
You notice how the necessity cravings, how your body gives you this this feeling like yo, I want some meat type of thing. That's a craving for necessity. But you know what? You know, something that is sweet overpowers that craving for some reason, that's the flesh.
Right.
You know, the flesh has a defense mechanism to give you thoughts like oh, I gotta eat meat because you're in need of protein. You know, or you're in need of, I gotta eat some fruits because you're in need of a certain vitamin. You know, things like that. You know, but when you get a craving for like ice cream, chocolate bars, you know, candy, any kind of candy, chips, all of those type of things, they're not beneficial to you. They're not beneficial for your body because your body is the temple. All right, and your spirit is supposed to dwell in that temple so that you can make the right choices. Because your body is constantly going to try to make wrong choices. That's why it says, just as the scriptures say, you know, the heart's deceitful above all things.
Right. It is once in a long while. Sometimes you go like, man, you know, I feel like just eat some salad.
Yeah.
You know, you just want to grab a salad.
Man, I've been having that craving recently. As well as fruits.
But at the end of this day, in this fucked up world that we in, you know, your flesh is always punishing you because you're not getting certain things that the flesh wants.
Yeah. What was that? Is this good? I don't know. Yeah. What is it? No, try to get a just put contrary. CONTRARY. Let me see. You going up? Keep going. Keep going. And keep going. No, right there. Galatians 5:17. Yeah, just start with that.
It's Matthew 6:25. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body, what you shall put on. Is not the life more important? Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?
Yeah, so we all brothers know through the spirit. We all hate this flesh. All of us brothers in this shoot, we all hate this flesh. We're always constantly saying it. Like, damn, I hate this flesh, man. Can't wait till the kingdom with those new bodies. You know? We brothers in this shoot, we constantly say that. It says that we love not our life unto death. We love not our life unto death. When shit hits the fan, all right, we still gotta feed these bodies. Same as everyone else. They still gotta eat and drink. But our mind isn't on that. Our mind isn't on constantly eating and drinking. All right? Our mind is constantly upon Yahawashi. We have to keep our mind upon that. If your mind's elsewhere, you better examine yourself and pray to get that spirit off of you. Because what shit is the fan, what's the most important is your fear towards Yahweh and Yahawashi. Yahawashi. All right? You don't want to love your life. You don't want to, like for example, a man that doesn't love his life, it's just like how those brothers over there in LA said, you know, if you had some money and you have enough money, you know, and the brother's in need, are you gonna tell that brother like, nah, and then go buy yourself something? Or you gonna give a portion of your money to that brother? You know, if you're a true brother in the truth, you'll give a portion of your money to the brother. Why? Because you don't. First of all, your mind isn't even upon the money, so you don't give two shits about it. You know, and since you have half the money, since you have half the same amount of money the brother got, now you both can make decisions if you make a decision to get like, you know, some food, the brother can make the same decision because he got the same amount of money now. And now you both are together. So if you love not your life, you would never care about the lust of money. You would never care about the lust towards food. So if you had enough food for what's it like for enough food for you and your wife, for example, the brothers from LA say, you know, and the brother doesn't have any food, you know, and the wife is complaining to you like, we don't have enough for both of us if we give some for him or anything like that. You know, if you're a true brother in the truth, you're gonna give half of yours to the brother. The woman can have hers, but you can have half, and the brother can have half. You're both be in the same state. You know, and if that woman ain't in that kind of mindset, if she is not in the same mindset as you are, she's gonna be punished for it, not you. You know, and vice versa, really, because at the end of the day, it's mercy. You know, but yeah, don't love your life, because if you love your life, you're gonna be as these other people are being narcissistic. You know. Saying like as if they're the main character and everybody else is side characters.
Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap.
Yeah, the fowls is referring to the birds of the sky. You know,
Nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they?
yeah. So all the birds you see, there's a lot of birds. How the hell are they so fat? How are they so fat? How are these birds so fat? They got enough food to even feed their chicks when they get back to their nest.
It's more than, you see, the thing about it is more than meets the eye. You know, like down in the tropics, down in Florida, you know, when there's like
My breast.
when there's like a hurricane or whatever, you always wonder like, where all the birds go? You know?
Dominicans?
Yeah.
Spanish?
What was that?
You Dominicans?
With Simeon, for tribe of Simeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Judah.
Yeah. You know the Heavenly Father's name and His sons?
Yahweh.
Wrong.
Go on.
Incorrect.
I read that.
It's an ancient Hebrew. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh. And His son's
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
I meant to say Yahweh.
And what is his son's name?
I remember edge of my tongue. Edge of my tongue. I can't get my tongue. I remember edge of my tongue kept my
And when that day comes, you gotta remember those. And not just in that day, you gotta remember it now.
I can't get my tongue keep my nose out.
His name is Yahawashi.
That's
Yahawashi.
what I knew it was Yahawashi, yeah. I couldn't pronounce it. I was going to say it, but I said it the wrong way. I was trying to say it.
If you're gonna, you have to, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. But
All right, no one say right now. What I say it right now.
what was that?
You don't have to say it right now. You don't have to say it. I already know.
Well, you better know when that day comes.
I don't forget.
No,
Pray for me.
I can't tell him anymore because it sounds like he's just gonna, you know, take it and he's gonna trample on it and just walk away and just leave it on the ground. So I'm just like,
keep it simple.
yeah.
And it's that Jake. I was going to a grocery shop. He was laying right in the middle of the street, acting like he got hurt. And he was just laying there. And then he got mad and said, "Why nobody paying attention to me? This is stupid, you know. I'm just laying here to see if I ask help. You know, nobody cared, man. Nobody cared." He got mad. You know, and you see he walking. I mean, he got up and said he had it. He didn't want no more attention. He got it. I mean,
Yeah.
Jake is doing anything now.
He made it seem like I said he knew the names. He did not know the names.
He didn't.
Did not know the names. All right, let's continue.
Matthew 6:27. Which are you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature.
Unto his stature.
Unto his stature. Salaki. And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, they toil not, neither do they spin.
Yeah, when these lilies grow, you know, they grow lush. You know? And it's Yahawashi that provided the basically the food and everything that lily needed. You know, that lily didn't do anything for itself, but it still grew when the time came. Why? Because Yahawashi permitted. You know, what more are we onto lilies than onto lilies? You know, are we not greater than that? You know.
And yet I say unto you that even Solomon and all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, if Jehovah so clothes the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast unto the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye little faith?
Yeah, I mean, look at the men of old. You know, they all had everything that was sufficient for them. You know, when they're out prophesying and preaching, they had enough that, you know, they weren't lacking of anything. None of those brothers were lacking of anything. They had everything that they needed. So today you can see the plants growing and everything, but tomorrow that could be casted into the oven. You know, because you don't know when days coming. So today you're getting fed, but what about tomorrow? You know, you basically gotta continuously do the same thing that you're doing today, as in working, staying in the faith, and continue it all the way until Yahawashi returns. And on the way there, you don't have to worry about everything else. It'll be provided to you. That doesn't mean that you can sit on your ass and have everything dished to you. No, because that's not reasonable, and that's a whack service. Ain't nobody gonna pay you for sitting on your ass. If you're gonna be a security guard, nobody's gonna pay you for sleeping on the job. It's the same thing, you know. So on the way there, we gotta stay awake. We gotta be in this truth. We gotta do this work. We gotta stay in this faith. No matter how long it takes until Yahawashi returns. And if it so happens that, you know, that we grow old, that we may die in this faith. But this concerning the prophecies, you know, pursuant to the prophecies, this kingdom does not have a long here. Much less than 5 years at most. You know? Alright? So just like what the scriptures say, the day of the Lord's salvation's nearer than we believe. You know?
Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or where should we be clothed? For all these,
you don't want to think like that. Actually, yeah, continue a little bit more.
For all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things.
Yeah, so that's what the Gentiles see. You can see with the mentality of these people out here. You know, when any shit hits, when shit hits the fan or something goes down, you know, you can see these people running to the supermarket and stocking up on all the food and all the toilet paper they can. You know, even fighting for it. You know, because they're worried on the coming days if they're gonna survive.
And one example was that one video that showed a Moab lady taking all the baby formulas.
Yeah, because the baby formulas, you know, weren't being shipped. They're being halted at sea. You know?
And she's fighting with
I'm not entirely sure.
It was an argument between like two people. Like, hey, like when you take the order formulas, you know, I got a baby too, you know.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
know, and that's what happened, you know?
at least give me one. You know, and that Moabite ignored. Like, damn. See, because that's how it's going to be when that day comes. People are going to be fighting amongst each other. They're going to be shooting each other so they can stake their cart.
So, and it won't be no that's just baby formula. It's going to be about meats. It's going to be about raiment. It's going to be about medicine. It's going to be fighting about needs. Like, the hell with, like, okay, there's a blackout that happened. You know, now it's been days now. People are desperate. Nobody's, at the end of this road, nobody's going to care about, like, oh, snap. Like, give me that. I don't have an Xbox 3 billion. You know, like, I need that Xbox 3 billion. Nobody's going to care. There's no electricity for that shit. You know?
Yeah, right. But people are still going to be killing each other for it.
And that, mostly Jake.
Yeah, because Jake is stupid, bro. Jake is stupid. You know?
You know, they'll be fighting for, they'll be fighting for a Nike before they start fighting for food.
Yeah.
You know?
That's all these Gentiles, they seek that. Gentiles as in these heathens. You know? The people that's in the midst of this, the people that's in the midst of this world, that's in this world, they're considered Gentiles. And that includes our people. Alright? We were once upon a time in that kind of mindset. What are we gonna do when this happens? What are we gonna do when that happens? But now we're not even worried about that anymore. You know, because we know that Yahawashi is gonna provide.
But seek ye first the kingdom of Yahawashi and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Yeah, all the things about the men, you know, eating and drinking while the people are gonna be hungry, you know, and thirsty. We're gonna be with that as long as we seek the kingdom of heaven. So when shit hits a fan and all of that, we're gonna be thinking, what does Yahawashi want us to do next? What are we gonna do next? As in spiritually wise. You know, because our mind is going to be just as Paul. When Paul was going through all the shipwrecks and everything like that, his mindset is on the betterance of the churches. You know, our mindset is going to be doing the same. How are we going to please Yahawashi? You know, and with everything like that, everything else will fall in place. Yahawashi is going to keep us fed. You know, going to have us have drinks. You know. Yeah, all of that. These people out here they're gonna be starving to death. You know, they can just walk around haughty all they want for now, but that laughing now is gonna turn to crying later. Yeah, shade the phone if you can. Make sure the sunlight don't get on it. They swap places, yo. You swap places.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow, which means tomorrow. For the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
Yeah. You know, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're not out here thinking about the future. What are you going to do when years come by now? Tomorrow's not promised. So why are you trying to make plans for the future? We met in this truth. The only future that we're trying to seal is trying to be part of the elect. We met in this too. We're trying to be part of that number. Because if we make diligence to be part of that number, we're making our calling sure. And we can be part of those men that's going to be fed in that day. You know, be protected in that day. You know, families that believe on Yahawashi be protected in that day. You know? This little bug. Yeah, they want to kill it. You know? Yeah. So we're gonna give diligence towards Yahawashi to make our calling and election sure. That's the only future that we're trying to secure in this truth. We brothers of this truth that are sincere. Alright? We are the only brothers that's trying to make this calling election sure. We're trying to be as circumspect as we can, so that we can be seen white and pure in the eyes of Yahawashi, that we can be, you know, covered by grace, covered by Yahawashi, covered by his blood. That Yahawashi would approve of us. You know? Because all of us in the school are like the little brothers. Yahushua's the big brother. We're trying to get the big brother's approval. And with the big brother's approval, it's the same as the fathers. You know?
So when that day died,
Look like he got something.
Yeah. This is 2 Peter 3 verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
Yeah, be diligent. You know, we actually got that last week, but you know, be diligent that we may be seen of him without spot and blameless. You know, and to be blameless. We just got to do this work. And this work is more than just being out here. It's on your everyday of walking. Unlike these wacky-tacky Christians, the only time they go off to try to serve a God is on a Sunday. Alright? But after that day, they go off to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, even on that day actually. They even have feasts inside of those churches. Pork chop feasts. And stuff like that. You know? But we are instructed not to eat that. So we're gonna practice those type of things day in and day out. So that we may be diligent and so that we may be blameless and spotless. You know, because before this truth we were blamed. And we had a lot of spots. Alright? But coming to this truth, we're as newborn babes. Everybody sees a baby as innocent. You know? Everybody sees a baby as innocent. Right? So when we came into the truth, we're as newborn babes again. Because we want to learn the way of righteousness. And to learn the ways of righteousness is like, you know, relearning how to tie your shoes. But not in the way of making it a knot, but putting it in an actual way. Putting it in an actual way that's like a technique.
It's like learning how to walk again. You know?
Yeah, it's like learning how to walk it. That's so true. You know? But it's as dangerous as being thrown into a pool. Learning how to swim. So it's like learning how to walk. But you gotta learn unless you fall. You know, or you gotta swim unless you drown.
So pretty much it's like you're like a toddler walking on a platform, and one side is just the pool, and the other side is full of spikes or fire.
Yeah, it's just a fire pit. It's just a fire pit.
You know, and you need Yahawashi to guide you.
Just as how he pulled up Peter on the water. When Peter was walking on the water, you know, Peter fell in because the wind got boisterous. It got strong, really strong. You know, and Peter felt that, and he felt like, yo, this is unreal, and he fell into the water. He fell into the water because, you know, he just couldn't believe it that he's actually walking on water. You know, but right when he fell into the water, since it was a storm that was happening, you know, he was pretty much drowning. He called out for Yahawashi to save him, and just the fact, you know, every time, because since Elder Apostle Aremla mentioned it, that's very spiritual that he even called out that, because every time we're in danger, we call out Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi, Baba Kushai Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi. You know, that's calling out to the Heavenly Father through His Son to save us from that situation. All right, and Yahawashi pulled him out of the water. You know, Yahawashi pulled down his hand and grabbed him up and pulled him out. You know. So yeah, so. Oh, wait, you still got more in that, right? Was that it?
Oops.
What?
I just closed it.
Oh.
It was pretty much level 1. He was walking on water.
Yeah, right.
Yahawashi. But then level 2 will be like the wind. Level 3 will probably be like he's still walking through that walk. And then it sounds like that increases. You have to increase with it. You increase that faith. You know, because it's going to be some tremendous times coming. and it's like pretty much right around the corner now. Just peeking like. Probably mostly looking at Jake like this is gonna be next, right? You know, pretty much.
Yo, never mind. Yeah, so let's get at it out in Kings, but you know we're gonna go through the story of Elijah again, because we brothers constantly get this out as an example how because the scriptures are for our learning. All right, we're getting at the story of Elijah for the purpose of how Yahawashi is going to supply us, and nothing's impossible. You know, nothing's impossible. Baba Kushar, continue. Well, continue with that. Yeah.
Niggas holding like a handbag. Okay, this is 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 1. This is Elijah, the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, and said unto Arab, as the Lord of Israel, as the Lord power of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. In the word of the word of the Lord.
Just to put that out there, dew is your morning humidity. When it turns morning and you can see water on the plants and stuff like that, that's your morning dew. There was not going to be any dew nor rain, so none of the plants are going to get its food, and it's going to start to decay, and none of the water is going to get its let's just say it's resupply.
It says, and the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook. Crieth, yeah, is that Crieth? Nah. Cherith, that is before Jordan. It says, it shall be, and that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there.
He's commanded the ravens to feed you. The ravens, man. Nobody in this world can expect birds to be coming over with loaves of bread. You know, they're carrying it over. You know, and drop it right next to you. Or put it right next to you and then fly away. Nobody in this world can imagine that, because they're so faithless. They can't imagine anything like that happening, because that's, quote, unnatural.
This is, so he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, for he went and dwelt by the brook and Cherith that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning.
Flesh is meat.
And bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. It says, it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, and because there had been no rain in the land, and the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, arise. It says, get thee to I don't know how to say that. Zarephath? I don't want to butcher this. Fuck it. Really bad at names.
Let me see. What am I looking at?
9.
Zarephath? Is that the Zarephath? With the Z?
Yeah. Zarephath.
Zarephath inside it.
Zarephath.
Slacky, I'm really terrible on names. It says, arise ye and get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. So he rose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, fetch me Fetch me, I pray thee.
It's like it, but I want to stop here real quick. But every time that every time I hear about that widow, it reminds me of every time, you know, we get like food from anybody, or food from anywhere, and then we get it from some kind of random person. How do you think Elijah was feeling that? Because that's a random woman. This is the first time he ever met her. All right, but this is a random woman, you know, and she's gonna help out. She's gonna help out Elijah. All right, so continue. It's just the same when, you know, like, just think about it. Like, you're just doing your own thing when shit hits the fan and stuff, right? And you know, you're walking and you see a person with like a cart of food or something, right? And something either happens to that person just randomly just gives it to you, you know? And you go like what's this? You know, or you just see while you're walking, you just all of a sudden see a bag of food. You know, things random things like that. That's what's going to supply.
So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came,
it's like again, but it's the same thing with the birds. Either the birds, they find their food themselves because Yahawashi basically instructed them to go to the specific location, you know, or somebody throws down food on the ground, and the birds just so happen to stumble across it. It's the same thing. You know what more? Are we not more than onto birds? Onto those birds? Onto the fowls of the air?
So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel.
Now keep in mind, there was a famine that was happening. A famine and a drought. And usually droughts even cause famines.
It says, fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, she called to her and said, Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thy hand. And she said, As the Lord thy power liveth, I have not a cake, but an handful of meal in a barrel.
A handful. Remember, it's a handful. It's only a small amount. You know, you can make cut half of that and make it enough for at least 2 people. Continue.
It says, but an handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a course.
It's only enough to cook maybe once. That's all I'm imagining, at least.
It says, and behold, I am gathering 2 sticks that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die.
Yeah, because that will be their last meal. You know? Continue.
It says, and Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make meat thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son.
He just because a handful was pretty much only enough for 2 people, but he just said to make one for him, her, and her son. All right, and she's probably looking at him like, but she's gonna go do it. You know, because that's how women's supposed to be, man. First of all, women just do it. Just do it as the man says. You know, just do it. But the women nowadays, they have this prideful mentality that they have a choice not to do as the man tells them to do. You know.
And that's just a gold card from Esau, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, that they have this independence. You know,
that's pretty much beside the topic, but you know, just wanted to put that out there.
Just for thus say,
the fact that she didn't ask you slacking. Just for the fact that she didn't ask questions. She didn't ask like how, but that doesn't make any sense. Remember, I'm speaking illogical. Like, shut up and just go do it. Or just shut up and go do it. You know, because we men are this truth This is how weird we are. We don't speak with, quote, logic. Because logic is the wisdom of this world. Have not Yahweh made foolish the wisdom of this world? So we don't speak with logicalness. We speak with spirituality. And remember, spirituality existed before carnality. Alright? So ours is more logical than your carnality. Because we men of the truth, we believe that the things that we see were framed by things that are not seen. So things that are not seen can be easily framed just as everything else was created that were not seen. You know? Oh, you got a precept real quick? Just read that over.
Yeah. This is 1 Corinthians 1 verse 25. Because the foolishness of Yahweh is wiser than men, and the weakness of Yahweh is stronger than men.
Oh, is it? Yeah. You know? And the fact that it's stronger than men, it's like you're sealed in you're a man of the Lord, and you're sealed in a high security prison. And you're like, you know I'm gonna get out of here, right? And the guy's like, this guy, you hit him. Like, you hit him? He said he's gonna get out of here. Alright, let's see you get out of here.
Even if you're locked up in the safe.
Just like later, it's like later they come over to see if you're still in there, and you're gone. You're like, what the, bro? How's he gone? The door isn't even open.
And they're gonna say, check for escape routes.
Check for escape routes. Check the cameras. You know, there's like,
around there.
yeah, like they're looking at the cameras, right? And then this camera goes like, and it comes back, and I'm gone. It's just gone.
Man, you remind me of this video about it's an old video. It was a warehouse.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about already.
And some, you don't know, it could be either by whatever, you know. The dude walked out from the gates of the warehouse. He just walked out, and the camera started going, and there was a light on him.
Wait, a barn house you said?
No, warehouse.
Oh.
And 2 hours later, the camera went like this again.
Threw him down. He was like on the ground.
He was on the ground. He started vomiting and whatever. And he just like said, he even quit that day.
I think I've seen that video.
Yeah.
But it was a barn house.
Oh,
I know that.
Warehouse.
It was
a warehouse.
It
had the cars in the background with the fence and stuff.
Yeah, it had that large fence. This is verse 13, 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 13. And Elijah said unto her, fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little bread first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee.
He just said make him. So that handful of meal was going to be made for Elijah. You know, and bring him that water as well. You know, but she's probably thinking in her head like, if I make it for him, I won't have enough for me and my son. But he's a man. It's just probably what's going through is. I was instructed by an angel, you know, to take care of him. So she's probably thinking for a second and like, you know, just going to go do it, you know, and just hope. And you know what? Shit.
And Elijah said unto her, fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son. This is, for thus saith the Lord, the power of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the course of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth.
Damn.
It says, and she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days.
Many days. Remember that barrel of meal, you know, and the water, and the oil in the lamp. None of it went out. None of it. So we have men of this truth. We're like, what's the point in stocking up if Yahawashi can literally just do that again? What's the point in stocking up when you can have a can of pears or something, right? You know, and every time you eat that can of pears, you go like, and it's back again. It's like,
it reminds me of
you know?
with Marvel when Thor met Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? The beer?
Yeah, with the beard.
He's like,
Yeah, it's
Go
like,
right back up.
I was like, I have another, you know, shit, literally, you just filled it up. That is so cool, man. So huh?
No, go ahead.
We men in the suit, we're not even worried about that. We're not even worried about stocking up and shit like that. We're not worried about what are we gonna eat the next day or anything of the sorts. You know, every money that you get, every food that you get, and everything like that is sufficient for that day. It's sufficient for a certain amount of days. But after those days are gone, don't think about, you know,
what you gonna
basically what you're gonna do next. You know, because just as it, you know, it says, you know, give unto us, what is it? Give not unto us riches, nor unto us poverty, but give unto us, damn it, how's it go? Sufficient for a day, roughly paraphrasing. Something like that.
But that's another example that's saying just worry about today.
Worry about today.
Yeah,
It says
that's it.
tomorrow shall be sufficient.
Right.
You know, tomorrow, you know, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow's not promised. You know, tomorrow's not promised. So we go on today as we did. I mean, if we go on tomorrow as we did today, it'll happen the same thing as it happened yesterday. You know, you get fed. You're gonna eat and drink. You know, you got it. Yeah, right. And that's how we men of this too. This is our mindset. And you women gotta understand this because you want to be over the man and try to usurp authority and say, well, I'm the only one logically thinking here. Does the scriptures say, have not Yahweh deprived women of wisdom? Roughly paraphrasing as it says in Job.
Because they don't think the big picture. They don't see the big picture.
Yeah.
You know, this whole thing. You know,
Because two men are supposed to be thinking spiritually. You know, putting over the dots of the mind. So thinking logically is actually you're supposed to think if you're thinking logically as a man, you're supposed to be thinking spiritually. And if you're thinking logically as a woman, you're thinking in the flesh.
that independent woman thing. That's just Esau just bring.
A lot of these independent women, they're gonna be dependent when shit hits the fan.
Right.
They're gonna want a man. Why? Because they're gonna feel unsafe everywhere they go, even in their own apartment. Because somebody could just bust in and nobody's there to protect her. You know? When shit hits the fan, it's gonna be a big wake-up call for both women and men. Alright? So you effeminate men, you are going to be absolutely obliterated. And you women are going to be helpless. Because you want an effeminate man to care for your feelings. All the time. All the time. You know? Women always trying to tell men how to act like a man. But the women never talk. The women never want the man to talk to the woman how
does she
tell the woman how the woman is supposed to behave, how the woman's supposed to act.
They get pissy, they get rowdy and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to say this because the preview of things to come is in the example which is on the news last day is these maxi pads were in short supply. What you gonna do when it's not in supply indefinitely?
Yeah, shit.
You know, what you
when
gonna
shit
do?
when shit hits the fan, what you gonna get? What you gonna do?
Yeah, where your independence gonna go from there? You know?
Yeah.
Are you gonna use because you're gonna be forced? You'll probably grab a baby diaper, and probably try to wear that, but that's gonna be a short supply too. Because a baby diaper and a maxi pad has the same function, the same usage.
Yeah.
You know, everything's gonna be in short supply or no supply.
It's gonna be a real big wake-up call. A lot of these women out here. You know, you women are this truth. You few men are women. You're absolutely blessed to even have this truth. You know, because a lot of women, they have way too much pride. Way too much pride for this truth. Why? Because for a woman to be in the truth, they have to sacrifice that pride. They gotta return to their humbleness. They gotta understand that they're not over a man. They gotta understand that you know that they're under the man. So you women are this truth. You few men and women, you know, you are absolutely blessed if you're actually sincere. And like it or not, most of the 1/3 of Israel are going to be women. Just for the fact that women are going to be dependent, and there's going to be men out here, and they're going to try to cleave onto those men, and literally be subjected onto those men. You know, and since those men are being protected, under the names of Yahweh, Yahawashi, they're absolutely going to give their all and believe onto that name. Why? Because those men are being protected. Out of everybody else who have different God names, Muhammad, God, Allah, all of the Buddha, fucking Set, all of these gods, and none of them will be protected. All of them are dying brutal deaths. Yet this man who serves the power of Yahweh and his Lord Yahawashi are being protected as a great rock in a weary place, which is a great rock in a desert. That shade is a blessing. Like, it's so cool, you know? Or that what do they call it? That stream that Elijah just drank from? That brook? It's like a brook. It's like a brook in a drought. You know? It's like, damn, all of this drought that's happening, shit. This water's still running.
The real oasis is this true. You know?
This is the real oasis. You know, remember when it says they walked in deserts and have not found it? You know? You look like you got something.
Yeah. I have to go home this for a while. This is Revelation 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
And the hour of temptation is with this. Is with this mainly. Okay. You know? Is this? You know? The M word. I can't say it because, you know, since we're on this platform, they like to strike things.
It could be. Yeah.
So
it could be that. It could be this.
Yeah, this
know?
and that combined. Because when if you don't take this, you cannot buy your food. You know? You cannot go to your places where you need to go. Or else you're gonna be stopped by these dudes. So it's gonna be an hour of temptation. It's gonna be an hour of temptation. Since they're gonna be rationing all the foods, the only way you can buy the foods is through this. If you take this and buy it with this.
Ration.
You know? Yahawashi is going to preserve us from that. From taking the RFID. Alright? They're already setting up the CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. And that goes hand in hand with this. Literally. Hand in hand.
Right now, you know, that's another whole subject to go into it about that. But it's important to be pushed out too.
Yeah,
you know?
because since we're heading into those times, because there's going to be a lot of famine and pestilence and all of this that's going to be happening here. At the same time, with all of that, to put a cherry on top, you got this heading off. All right, and to have access to the food, if you're in this world, to have access to the food in this world, you need this. But if you're dependent on Yahawashi Yahawashi, you don't need that.
God.
You don't even need Esau.
You see the comparison.
All you need is Yahawashi Yahawashi.
The comparison is, see, according to Esau, in order for you to get food, drinks, whatever, all the nutritional, what you need, you have to go through his system.
Yeah.
But in Yahawashi Yahawashi, in order for you to have food, drinks, to live, even to live forever, you know, you have to go to the scriptures. You have to come to this truth. You have to repent, and he'll give you that and more on top of that. And that's all we pushing out there.
That's why I said everything shall seek ye the kingdom of heaven first, in the Lord and His righteousness. Right. All these things shall be added onto you. You know, just like Solomon, when he prayed for wisdom, you know, he didn't just get wisdom; he got everything else that came with wisdom. You know, riches, women, you know, all of that, because a lot of men love women. You know, it says there's nothing more. Men love nothing more than women. You know.
And it brings me to the, you know, let me finish. All
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
And try them through what? Try their faith. Because remember what Yahawashi said. He said, shall I return and find faith on earth? You know? But since we men of this truth, you know, we're not of this world. You know? We're not of this world. So we are not, you know, seen as these other people will do. So that's why we're gonna be shining to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Because we're gonna be the only ones odds one out. We're the only ones who's just gonna be odds one out. We're gonna be the only ones that are odd out of all of them. You know? But we're gonna be shining. Because Yahawashi Yahawashi is gonna keep us. That's it?
No, this. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast.
And that's what? What do we have? We got our faith, we got wisdom, we got this calling, you know? This righteousness overall. You know? Hold it. Don't let anybody take your crown. Don't let anybody fall to you. If you're being fed and Yahawashi Yahawashi is supplying you, how can somebody tell you that he's not supplying you? That makes no sense. When you got, like the Lord's not supplying you, got like Famine said, the Lord's not supplying you. You got a can of food and a drink in your hand, you're like, man, he's not. Like, bro, are you fucking for real? What? Like, for real.
Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
Let no man take thy crown. And that's a big thing. Because if you seek the kingdom of heaven, especially you men that are doing this work, we're being forged to be kings. That's why we're even out here. That's why we're in the lowest state. That's why we're the most detested of the earth. The lowest of the earth right now. Because of the best king is the king that knows how it is to be in a poor state. That's the best king. A king that is low in stature. That is the best king. Alright? So we're going through all of this so that we may be forged as kings. You know? A king that is dependent on Yahawashi Yahawashi, just like King David was. King David was dependent on Yahawashi Yahawashi. King David understood that all of the things that he did and that he does was from the Heavenly Father and the Son. You know? Because he understood that it's not of his own strength. And that's why Yahweh said that King David is a man after his what was it?
After the Father's heart.
After the Father's heart. And that's why he chose this line of David to carry his son. You know? Which Solomon, which was the son of David, that was Yahawashi before he was Yahawashi. But through that line downward, Yahawashi came about. You know? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is an example of Deuteronomy 8:1, and all the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that you may live and multiply, and go to possess the land which Yahweh sware unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the ways. Let me start again. And thou shalt remember all the way which Yahweh Bashan Yahawashi. I have to say Yahweh.
Yes, yeah, say.
Okay. And thou shalt remember all the way which Yahweh, thy power, led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee, and prove thee, and to know what's in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee, and suffered thee through hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man does not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh does man live.
Yes,
And-
it's the
and-
same thing with Yahawashi said. Oh, you were about to get that, aren't you?
Yeah, I got it right here. Too, and this is Matthew 4:1. Then was Yahawashi led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights,
Same thing with the men of the when we left, in Egypt. After
When we
we
were
were
in the
out of
wilderness.
Egypt in the wilderness for 40 years.
Right.
Same thing. Yahawashi 40 days, 40 nights.
He was afterward in hunger. And when the tempter came to him, spiritual Satan, he said, if thou be the son of the power, command these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the power. And that's Satan. Yeah, just like, Satan don't let this word come out. But Yahawashi will give us an opportunity to read it again, and let this other demon pass through.
If you continue, the scriptures, you kind of trying to use scriptures against Yahawashi as well.
Yeah.
You see that you can read it if you want to.
It applies to Esau too, because he's the physical counterpart. Okay, I'll read the point, the part of the point. Matthew 4:4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh. Then the devil take him up into the holy city and set him on the pinnacle of a temple.
It's a spiritual shaitan, by the way.
And said unto him, if thou be the son of the power, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angel charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yahawashi said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt Yahweh thy power. Again, the devil taking him up into an exceeding high mountain, and show him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. What's happening now? And he said unto him, all these things I will give thee, just like he gave you, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then said Yahawashi to him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, in him only shall thy serve.
Yeah, the scripture saying he's probably like, yup, that's the son. Probably leaving him because remember, a spiritual Satan, he's an angel of the Lord. He's the angel on the left hand side, and his duty is to tempt people. Is to try to sway them off. What he's doing here, he did the same thing to Job. Because the men, when the men of the Lord are being tempted in any way, they're gonna be tempted hard.
Then the devil leave him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And, the same applies too. We gotta you gotta believe. You gotta have this faith. When shit hits a fan, you gotta know that Yahawashi is gonna provide for you. But first of any, as been read already, that you have to live. You cannot live by bread alone, but by the word proceeded out of the mouth of Yahawashi. And the scriptures is the instruction in order for you to get the food and raiment, and etc., etc., called Yahawashi, or else it's not going to work at all. What else is true? It's not going to work at all. Nothing's going to work. Not even, you know what? It comes to the point that even prepping, none of that shit is going to work. You know, let's say you're not with the truth. You just want to do the prepping. You got to get cans of food. Oh, I found a can of spaghetti. Oh my gosh, we can't do. I'm gonna keep that. No, you know what?
We're gonna be as the birds. Remember the birds? It says they don't stock up in barns.
Right.
You know, all of that. You know, we're not. We made it. There's no problem with stocking up. But don't put your mind as if that's going to keep you. That's going to keep you. Let's just say sufficient in that day. You know, don't put your mind upon that. Your mind should be upon Yahawashi Yahawashi. Once again, there's no problem with you know, getting cans and stuff like that. Just don't put your mind upon it like as if that's going to deliver you when famine hits.
When you're stocking up on
Yahawashi Yahawashi will show you otherwise.
multiple things can happen. If you prepping, putting cans away and whatever, that can eventually run out because you're going to start getting desperate. Number two, no matter how much discipline you have, only that by just that prepping, it's still going to run out. You know, or somebody's going to steal your can, or somebody's going to steal your can and steal you to eat you.
And you probably got a can of like a can of beets, right? And then, no, not a can of beets, but like a can of green beans, and they're gonna have you as a side.
As a side, like, I got a side of 4 arms with me. You know?
4 arms, oh my god.
You know, with real fried
I
fingers.
got a leg. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, so I'll read this, and then we'll close up with Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter. Yeah.
It just says,
good job, man. Keep it up. Keep the good work up.
But that's an example also.
Okay, yeah, you can start here.
So I'll go ahead. This is Matthew 15:32. Then Yahawashi called his disciples unto him and said, I have compassion on the multitude, because they continue with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat, and I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way.
Yeah, because they can't fast because they haven't eaten for 3 days. Like, if Yahawashi understood that, just the same as Yahawashi understood that, Yahweh understands that. So imagine that. That could be a pure example how Yahweh, yeah, we may have to not eat for a few days, but eventually we will eat. You know, because Yahweh understands that if you don't eat for more than 3 days, you're gonna get knocked out. You're gonna start seeing stars. You're gonna be like, and then just fall down. You know, because if you actually notice, when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, you get hot quicker. You faint from the heat quicker.
The thing about it, you get hot quick because your body now trying to eat itself out now.
It can't access the sweat either.
You don't got to keep going. It's
yeah.
like a fuel, you know. So you can live longer without eating, but when it comes to drinking, you need to drink.
Yeah.
So how about trying to understand that?
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you don't eat for a few days. All right, but eventually you will eat, and Yahawashi Yahawashi knows exactly when you do and when you don't. All right, so don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. Don't lose faith because you're not eating for a few days. All right. Especially you women, because you women usually freak out.
This is why we have to end up going to Satan. Every time we get to a point, it shows up. And not use anything. Yahawashi use anything ultimately as a tool. This is what when you go like 2 or 3 days with no eating. That's to the point of to see if you're going to humble down. You know.
Yeah, keep your wits with you. You know.
And you see that. You know what? It's funny. You know, we got cats. You know, the cats, they humble. But once you get into the food, they don't care about you. They don't care. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with a dog already. You know, if you feed them real good, they don't care, man. They act like they, you know, like, you know how they describe it. They love me. They don't really love you. They want their food. But we have, right? We have our soul. We have our soul, our spirit, and our flesh, and it wrestles. You know what I mean? So if you're thinking too carnally, what's going to happen? You start losing all sense of morality when you don't have the spirit, and then you start to kill even your own your own loved ones just to get your food.
Yeah,
you have to have this wisdom and understanding, because that's the scriptures. The wisdom and understanding.
The wisdom and understanding should be the stability of thy times.
Right.
Yo, this new apocalypse is becoming better one.
It's Matthew 15:33, and his disciples said unto him, Whence shall we have so much bread in the wilderness, as to fill a great multitude? And Yahawashi said unto them, How many loaves have ye?
Both sides. Damn.
Notice that every time there's a camp, there's always more evidence.
Shit. I mean, judgment is going out.
Again, I read it. Matthew 15:34. And Yahawashi said unto them, How many loaves have ye? And they said, 7, and a few little fishes. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves and the fishes, and gave thanks, and brake them, and gave to his disciple, and the disciple to the multitude. And they did all eat, and were filled, and they took up of the broken meat that was left 7 basketful.
That was left.
That was left.
7 basketful.
It was still
Damn.
It was supposed to be less than that, but it's more. See,
And that was a multitude.
all right.
You know, you can see those men, women, and children. You know, they're probably full of faith. Like, damn. Like, they're probably all full. Remember, those 3 days. Your stomach is empty as hell. So you can eat a lot when you're hungry. You can eat a lot. And there was left, how much was it again? 7 baskets. Remember, there was like 7 loaves. Now there's 7 baskets full of fish and bread. Damn.
You ask yourself, where the other baskets?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Gotta make those baskets.
You multiply them baskets. And
It makes you imagine how it was. Did he chop it and then just, you know? It's like, damn, how did he do it?
So all of a sudden it's another basket here. Another
Oh
basket
yeah,
there,
I can
another
imagine
there.
it like that. You could just, you know, spread it out like that and it just multiply. My man.
What if you just took it out of the basket, and when you look back in the basket, it's in there again?
Shoot, just cover it up and you go like that, bam.
What do you call that? Like when you I don't know, that was back then. Like to play Skyrim, you multiply the object.
Duplication.
Duplication.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what he did. He duplicated.
You gotta remember, there was the spiritual realm was before this carnal realm, this terrestrial realm. And you gotta remember that there's a whole different realm from this. And Yahawashi, he's from that realm. You know, he's from that realm. And all the powers come from the Father. You know, everything that is seen now wasn't made by things that were seen. All right, From the stone you walk upon, to the buildings you see, and the glass you see, the cars you see, everything was not framed by things that were framed. It was framed from nothingness. It was created. How much more is it for Yahawashi to make baskets full for multitudes? You know, and fill up a multitude's stomach. I think that was it there. Oh, look, continue a little more.
And they that did eat were 4,000 men, beside women and children.
4,000 men. That was just the men there. It was just counting the men, beside the women and children. You know? Yeah, and the children too. Like shit.
And he sent away the multitude, and took ship and came to the coast. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's the point there. Like, damn. You know, all of those men, women, and children, they all ate. All right. So let me hit this up. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 34. Verse. Let me start at 13. It says, "The spirit of those that fear Yahweh shall live, for hope in Him that saveth them." It's like, for their hope in Him is in Him that saveth them. Whoso feareth Yahweh shall not fear, nor be afraid, for He is hope, for He is His hope. It's like, blessed is the soul of him that feareth Yahweh. To whom doth he look, and who is his strength? For the eyes of Yahweh are upon them that love Him. He is the mighty protection and a strong stay, a defense from heat, and a cover from the sun at noon, and a preservation from stumbling, and a help from falling. And that's a pure fact, you know? Because especially when famine and stuff like that hits and we don't eat for a few days, a lot of people will bug out like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I should have stocked up. I should never listen to those men. That's stumbling, and now you're falling. But since our hope, that's why it says seek ye the kingdom of heaven first. If you're seeking the kingdom of heaven, that's the work that y'all said. They said, if thou believe in the Father, believe in me also. If not on me, believe in my works. You know? And the works of Yahawashi is bringing forth that kingdom. So desiring that kingdom. You know? Yahawashi at the end of the day, you know, made that even possible. But Yahawashi, that's why seek ye the kingdom of heaven first. And with all of that, you know, you seek upon Yahawashi. He's our reservation. He's our saving from our wait a minute. Yahawashi helped Peter when he fell into the water. That's a pure example. He's a help from falling. You know? He pulled him out. Pulled him out of the water. But still, you know, so continuing it says, I think it was it. Yeah, that was it on that.
I got stuck up.
You read that and he can read you can read Ecclesiastes. The Ecclesiastes is the second chapter.
I haven't even finished First Kings, have I?
No.
Watch that.
Not Ecclesiastes. I just told you all my apps. Yeah, you read that.
Okay, this is Isaiah 65 and 13. Therefore, thus said Yahawashi, behold, my servants shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. See, Satan.
Yo, that's spiritual.
Yeah, I'll read it again.
I've been holding that scripture for like the longest. No, I closed all my apps. Accidentally.
I guess I'll pick up. You let talk. I'll read it Isaiah 65:13. Thus said Yahawashi, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of the heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit.
Yeah, vexation of spirit. People are going to.
You're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see
It's just the same thing of wailing with anguish. You know, the anguish of spirit. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that.
Especially women. You're going to hear the women more, how you say, crying loud on the men, because they tend to get really loud, you know?
Yeah.
They really cry, you know? There's going to be a lot of that
That's
everywhere.
why siren goes back to a woman.
You're going to hear
You know,
that.
when you hear a police, well, every time we hear the ambulance and stuff like that, you know, women are going to be screaming and crying louder than that. Like, damn, that's loud.
There's going to be people that die of hunger, like horribly, and it's going to be wailing for that, you know? It's going to be all kinds of wailing. It's going to be
bad.
a sword, everything. Because somebody's being chased, you know, and that person's not going to get help. It's going to be all kinds of madness going on. And these bug outs, you think that bug out right now, these people with no home, they're going to be even more bug out. They're going to be even more bug out. There won't be no what's the word? There won't be no pause. There will be no breaks from that. You're going to have to sleep with your eyes open at night. There won't be no like one eye open, one eye closed. No, you're sleep with your eyes open.
When people grow hungry, it gets bad. It gets real bad. They start looking like a husk. You know? They start looking like a husk. Yo, if any brother actually reads manga, which is a Japanese comic, and you ever heard of Berserk, it's a favorite of me and my little brothers. It's supposed to be an adult manga, but there was a part in it where it was a church and there was a famine that was happening, more like a pestilence and a famine, you know, and the church closed off their doors for the people. And the people wanted food so bad because the churches had the food. They wanted food so bad, yet they were still punishing the people because they wanted them to suffer pain so that they can get the food. And the people were outside their doors. Women, men were outside their doors making encampments, but they all looked like husks. Like, please, just my baby. And they took the baby, and you know, they I don't know what they did with that baby. It was like they killed it. It was a fucked up church as well. It was based off the Catholic Church. How like everything is styled with the Pope and shit like that. Look at that. That was more circumspect than the other one. Why would you do that? Is what he asked. Other was more circumspect than the other one. And the one in the middle was laughing. That one's gonna cry more than the rest. And the one on the side is probably gonna be put to death because of him dying. Shit, you don't know what happened.
Jake had no idea. Jake don't want to stop and listen and heed to the word, you know. And it's the same. Like, I'm not gonna say exactly the same, but it's still there, you know. It's the Bible that their priests got in their churches that they won't open, but because Jake don't know what the scripture said, Jake ignorantly start doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another way to say that.
Because they understand, they don't understand. What was it?
It's another way, you know, Yahawashi, Yahweh, you know, the Father Himself. He said, you don't know me. You don't know the Lord. You just don't know. Because of that freaking reason.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
You know?
Pray to the cup.
Alright,
This is my Lord right here. Pray to the cup. Hey, Lord.
Keep your God. You can keep your God.
doing the same thing.
You know.
It's the same joke over and over and over again. He laughs at the same joke. That's how you know it's a
trying to
demon.
destroy you, man.
Yeah, that's how you know it's a demon. He laughs at the same joke, saying the same thing over and over and laughs at it.
Yeah.
It says, in the last days shall be scoffers walking after their own lusts.
He's just doing his part.
And we know that perilous times are coming. And look what this dude's doing. That's all that scoffers are doing. Scoffing and laughing. We're laughing as a laughing stock anyways. That's how the true men, they're going to be laughing stocks at you.
And you know what?
We're going to be laughing when you guys go hungry. When you men, when you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, when you go hungry, we're going to be laughing. We're going to be mocking you. And we're going to tell you, pray to your Lord. Pray to your God. Ha, ha, ha.
And you know what's going to happen? Jake is going to go, that beer that he said, that's his God. That's what he said. That's his God. He's going to go to that.
Go cry unto your God then. Go cry unto your God. Let him save you from the days to come.
And guess what? When shit hits a fan, there won't be no liquors in the liquor store either. That's going to be gone too. That's going to be gone too. And he's going to be looking for his God. Because his God is his liquor.
Yeah.
And then what he's going to do about it? It just means death to him. That's all it means.
Because this is not a time. This is not a time for because there's a time for everything under the season on the earth, you know. And this is not the time to be joking around. This is serious time.
It's a flood mentality. That's what you got.
That was a flood mentality. Because what did they think? What were they doing when Noah was out there prophesying? They were laughing at him, saying, "Ha, water's going to come from the sky and drown us all? Really? Ha ha ha! Pray to your God." You know? So, Babu Shai, read that Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes 2, verse 2. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
Make not haste in time of trouble, especially when you don't eat for a couple of days. When you don't eat for a couple of days, don't make haste. Don't be like, I gotta go get food. You know, I gotta go stock up and stuff like that. When shit hits the fan and stuff like that. That's the mentality of these people. You know, Yahawashi the spirit of Yahawashi, which is the Krakodash, is going to lead you. It's going to guide you. You know, you're gonna get spiritual thoughts, especially when a certain, like for example, when the apostles and elders give an order, that's through the spirit of the Rachakodash. So it's best that you follow that order. You know, because that's also a way of humbleness too. You know, listening to your apostles and elders is the same thing as listening to Moses. Yeah. Oh, we rather listen to God than to you, but the Heavenly Father was using this man to speak unto you. You know, but when Yahweh came down to speak to the people didn't want to hear it anymore because there's so much thundering, you know, earthquakes, you know, and burning on the mountain. They couldn't handle it. We will listen to Moses. We'll listen to Moses. You know, it's what they said. You know, it's the same thing with our apostles and elders now. So those when they're in the wilderness, they were also learning that in the way of humbleness. That Yahawashi he sends men out as envoys, just as he sends angels out. All right, he sends an angel to Moses to tell Moses what to say, you know, to the people, or what to do to the people. And Moses does it or says it. We're gonna figure it out. You know, people don't want to hear what the Heavenly Father has to say. That's why we're trying to be under Yahawashi, to be under the wings of Yahawashi, so that we may not go directly to the Father just yet. Because we have to be made white and pure. Because no man can see the Father and live. Why? Because the Father doesn't want to look at wickedness. That's something he turned his face away from. You know? wicked man's going to be in the house of the Lord. That's for damn sure. So we have to have Yahawashi, so that we can have our bodies changed, and then we can see the Father. We can see the Father as Yahawashi did. And Ottawa wrote this out, that we men of this truth, that we're part of that number. And we get to see Yahweh, by Hashem Yahawashi. Let me say it like that. It's like, alright? We get to see Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi. We get to see the Father, and we get to see His Son on the right-hand throne. Alright?
We see Yahawashi, we basically see the Father anyway. Because He got the glory of the Father.
I can imagine like they're sitting on the throne, so we just go over, we're like kneeling. Like, I don't know, that's cool. To me, I always think it's cool. Because, first of all, Yahawashi is my Lord. Alright? And Yahweh is our power. There is nothing more than I want than to kneel to them. Because to me, because ultimately kneeling is the greatest reverence. You know? Kneeling is the greatest reverence. That's why every king wants you to bend the knee. That's why Yahweh has those men reserved unto Yahawashi that have not bent the knee to Baal. You know? And Lord that we are those men. You know? We rather show our reverence to Yahweh Yahawashi than unto men. Alright? Yes, Bible start. Keep going with that.
Verse 3. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased in thy last end.
Yes, so after those days where you don't eat, and then you finally eat all the way to the point that you're full, and you still got enough for later, you know, you're going to be increased at your last end. Why? Because you're never going to be worried. So when you don't eat for a couple of days, you're not even going to think about it. You're going to be like, no, Yahawashi got us. Because that increase that it's talking about there is your faith and your hope. That's what's being increased. Continue.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall.
Yeah, go not aside, lest you fall. You know? And if you feel like you're going to the side, pray to Yahawashi, because he's a guard from your fall. You know, a guard from the stumbling block. And if you fall, pray unto him that he may pick you back up. Don't fall completely. That's a stupid man. That's a coward. Alright? We men of this truth, we like those warriors that go like with the two blades running into the battle. Ah! No matter how many arrows shoot their chest and you know how many swords they get slashed and stabbed, they're still fighting, man. All the way until their last breath. You know? I still love that story you told me with that from that movie. The warrior finally is done with battle. He's, you know, all those dead people, he fucking sits down, puts his sword on the ground, he fucking dies right there.
He just died just sitting right there. And that's
That is so cool.
Yeah,
He died in the coolest manner.
That was the 13th warrior.
That is cool. You know? Yeah.
Verse 8. Ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and your reward shall not fail.
Believe in him and your reward shall not fail. That's why Yahawashi said, seek ye the kingdom of heaven first, and in thy Lord's righteousness. And all these things shall fall upon you.
Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy.
Hope, that's what you hope for. So especially when you're going through famine, all of that, that's what you should be hoping for. Hope for the kingdom. Hope for Yahawashi's return to it, so he can bring forth the kingdom. You know, that he may deliver you from that situation, that he may deliver you overall from this flesh.
Verse 10. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction.
Yeah, look at the generations of old. Look at the men. Look up. We just read the story with the light. You know, look at him. There was a drought. There was a famine that was happening. And look at him. Look at that family that was supplying him. You know, bless them that bless thee. Continue.
Verse 12. Woe be to the fearful hearts, and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways.
Yeah, so we already met one of them. You know, that was in this truth, in the GMS doctrine at one point that fell off. A member of our family once upon a time. You know, well, not directly. Well, you know, the wife. I mean, the husband. You know, and he was a sinner that goes both ways. You know, and the Lord dealt with him. The Lord dealt with him. So we seen that firsthand. We brothers over here. You don't want to be one of those men. You want to fear Yahawashi above all. Fear and trust upon Yahawashi.
Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended.
Yeah, so if any dudes coming out here doing this work that we're doing, standing out here, prophesying and preaching, and he doesn't believe what he's saying or anything like that, doesn't believe in the names of Yahweh, Yahawashi, yet coming out here as if it's just something to do, like a chore or something, you're not going to be defended in that day. Because you've forgotten your first love. You know, you had the desire to come out here at one point, but that desire's gone. What happened to it? That's why the brothers are doing those videos every single day to stir up your minds in the way of remembrance, your pure minds, so that you would be mindful of the things spoken by the prophets and by them apostles. You know, to be mindful of it. Because we're going into perilous times, dangerous times. You gotta remember why you come out here and not to be faint-hearted.
Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you?
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes that fell out of the truth because they lost patience in doing this work. Because it became a chore to them, a chore that they don't want to do anymore. You know? They rather sit at home smoking weed or something, you know?
Hanging out, parties, get together.
Committing adultery.
All that.
You know?
They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word.
That why would we disobey Yahawashi's word? We wouldn't dare to disobey it. Because we're circumspect. We fear Yahawashi. And we understand that Yahawashi can destroy the body and the soul. And if we die, we'd rather take our works that we do now, you know, and take it into the spiritual realm, and have basically Yahawashi look at it. He's like, yeah, you know, we don't want him to look at it as like,
we remember by our works, you know.
yeah,
You know, because if let's say we cut out, you know, you're in this truth and you just cut out like that, all the works you had did is not going to be remembered. None of that.
yeah.
It will be as if you never actually went to the truth in the first place.
There was something like that in New Testament as well.
And they that love him will keep his ways.
Okay, we will keep his ways, man. And what is his ways? If we love him, to keep what ways? To even love him, you have to keep his ways. To love, you have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. Reason I say best of your ability is because we're not under the curses of the law, but we're under the curse of Yahawashi. So to love him, we have to follow his ways, which are the law, statutes, and commandments. And the reason I say best of your ability is because since we're not under the curse, so that we can show our love, we do it to the best of our abilities anyways.
Yahawashi showed us
The
how,
woman
how
that was
to,
understandable.
Yahawashi showed us how to, how to go about.
Yeah,
and how
that's
to keep
how
up,
he, Yeah, that's how he was seen perfect. You need to be compared with something to be seen perfect. You need a weight. You need a scale. And Yahawashi was at the top. He followed that statutes commandments all the way until he died. Let's continue.
They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well, pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law.
Shall be filled with the law. We will seek what is pleasing unto him, because we don't want to seek otherwise. Like, damn. When people already, famine is hitting them hard and they're looking like ghouls out here, looking like husks, to the point that they're walking skeletons. They can't even walk, actually.
I forgot to bring something out real quick. You mentioned something like they're gonna look like wolves. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of women looking like wolves because past, I think it was yesterday. There's short supply of cosmetics. Which I think what is it? Revlon, one of the major makeup companies. They're in very short supply. You're going to have a lot of ghost, goblins and ghouls and Eskimos running around here.
Eskimos, man.
You can't tell whether.
The Eskimos, because they're all pale looking. Like, damn. They don't got that foundation now.
They're going to look like White Walkers now, walking around here. You can't tell them. Because a lot of Jake women, been doing a lot of these plastic surgery too. Putting artificial blood, putting a tree on their heads as a hair or something.
They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
Yeah. So as his majesty is, how powerful he is, everything like that, so is his mercy. And that's our mind. Because we know that Yahawashi is omniscient, omnipotent. What more is it for him to just to feed us? Imagine that. To protect us is easy. It's easy. Is this here for the silence?
Yeah.
Well, this small precept right here that says, Matthew 24:13, but he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. We gotta go through all this.
Endure. And that's what it means to contend for this truth, contend for the faith. Contend means to battle. Alright? We have to battle for this faith. We gotta battle for this truth. Because there's all different types of doctrines out here that claim they are the ones. But just as the scriptures say, no book shall meet her mate. And these prophecies at the end of the day show forth. No matter if these books try to copycat, at the end of the day, you can see the chariots in the Bible. And the Bible speaks about the chariots. No other book speaks about the chariots. All right. No other book speaks about the chariots, the so-called UFOs. Those are the vehicles of Yahawashi, the vehicles of the angels of the Lord. If you don't believe that, so what? All right.
Make every man alive. You don't want to believe. For what?
Yeah. No other book, man. Now whatever book Buddha has, whatever book the Egyptians have, the Quran don't got it. None of them got the answers for the so-called UFOs. Alright? So just to leave that off, that was it. So I'm gonna close up. Alright? Alright? I want to once again give double honors to the elders, great millstones, and shalom to you sincere brothers out there teaching truth and sincerity. Alright? We hope that this lesson was edifying unto you brothers, and exhorting unto you brothers as it was for me at least. I can't speak for my other brothers, but it was up for him as well. Yeah, so yeah, the one that was edifying and exhorting unto you brothers and you pragmatic sisters. You know. Holy shit, he talking fast. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it off with the Shema prayer. So Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh Achad, Shalom Akyam, Shalom.